Welcome to the Cup of Joe Wrestling Show.
Cup of Joe Wrestling Show?
With Joey Harris. A podcast for the wrestling fan on the go. So take your favorite beverage of choice and join Joey as he takes a look at some of the biggest shows on the WWE Network.
From makeshift studios in the shadow of South Central Virginia, this is the Cup of Joe Wrestling Show. I am your host, Joey Harris. Follow the show on Twitter at Cup of Joe Pod. Email the show at cupofjoewrestlingshow@gmail.com. Folks, back, made it through Thanksgiving just fine. Made it through all the Black Friday shopping. I went out Black Friday shopping. Went to a few places, got my wife a few presents. Picked up some other stuff, some stuff from the grocery store and all of that. And I'm recording this on Tuesday, and I go out yesterday. I need some stuff. Go get the stuff. I'm back in the truck. I don't like to just wander around usually. I'll go see a few things, but if I have a list and I know what I'm going to get, I'm in and I'm out and I move on with my life. And I go to leave. I'm in the Walmart parking lot. And the way that I parked, I can't just pull out and leave. I have to pull out and then circle around and leave. As I'm circling around, 3 people, they look to be teenagers, but you can never tell these days, are walking, and they're walking up an aisle, and that's the aisle I have to go up to leave. And they're walking, and so I'm going slow, giving them time to get out of the way. But instead of getting out of the way, they got in the way more and then slowed down and thought it was the funniest thing that they have ever seen. And I had to hold my anger because things like that make me angry. I had to hold my anger, but then I get competitive. Okay, you want to go slow? I'll go slower. And so then they're trying to slow down to make me go slower. And at that point, I'll stop the truck because they wanted me to go faster, I felt, so that they could make an issue out of it or say that I was trying to harm them. No, I stopped the truck at that point. I'm not there to play games until they got to where they were going. And it was like I ruined their game for them because I wouldn't play. And there are times you just have to be the bigger person. Today, Project 45 lands in the year 2002 as we look at the episode of Smackdown from September the 12th, 2002. Hat tip to WrestlingRecaps.com for their help with the recap. And we have finally reached it, folks. As we start out, you see the invitation is shown for Billy and Chuck's commitment ceremony. Yes, this is that episode of Smackdown. We have our WWE intro, recap of the previous week of what happened between Brock Lesnar and The Undertaker. We then get our Smackdown intro. Smackdown is coming from the Target Center in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Taz and Michael Cole welcome us to Smackdown. The opening contest, SmackDown World Champion Brock Lesnar versus Hardcore Holly. Lesnar gets in Holly's face and they begin to trade strikes. Lesnar tosses Holly with an overhead suplex and locks in a front face lock, but Holly reaches the ropes. Lesnar knee lifts Holly, but Holly tackles Lesnar to the floor, and Lesnar continues with strikes to the back. Lesnar drives Holly back first into the ring post and hits an overhead suplex on the floor. Lesnar rolls Holly back into the ring for a 2 count. Lesnar leg sweeps Holly with a clothesline. Lesnar lifts Holly into the air with a vertical suplex and drives Holly down to the mat. Lesnar uppercuts Holly and Holly fires back with strikes. Lesnar shoulder rams Holly in the corner and locks in a bear hug. Holly elbows out of the bear hug, but Lesnar connects with a back suplex for a 2 count. Lesnar runs into a boot in the corner, and Holly goes to the middle rope, missing a missile drop kick. Lesnar delivers a backbreaker, but Holly wiggles free. Lesnar dangerously drops Holly on his head with a powerbomb. Holly legit breaks his neck here. Lesnar tries for another powerbomb, but Holly drop kicks Lesnar. Holly kicks Lesnar between the legs, but misses a clothesline. Holly counters a German and almost wins with a rollout. Lesnar finishes Holly with an F5 after countering an Irish whip. There's some hard-hitting action here, and it's an enjoyable start to the show. There was never a doubt to who would win here. Lesnar was reckless with the botched powerbomb that injured Holly. This was better than I was expecting, though. This was a really physical match. The crowd went crazy for the F5. The Undertaker and his wife Sarah are shown arriving at the arena. Edge and John Cena versus Eddie Guerrero and Chavo Guerrero. This is early Cena and not at all like the character that we would come to know. Eddie and Chavo attack before the bell and get the cheap advantage. Cena is trapped on the floor, but Edge drops both Chavo and Eddie to the mat, gut first. Cena slides in and clotheslines both Guerreros. Cena legally starts with Eddie and pulls Eddie into the ring by his hair from the floor. Cena tries for a suplex, but Eddie counters with knee lifts. Cena arm drags the Guerreros and Edge hits a double clothesline. Chavo pulls the ropes down, causing Cena to crash to the floor. Cena is double teamed on the floor with stomps. Chavo uppercuts Cena and stomps Cena. Chavo connects with a short arm clothesline. Eddie works over Cena with right hands in the corner. Eddie misses a clothesline and Cena press slams Eddie to the mat. Cena attempts a press slam, but Chavo chop blocks Cena. Cena tags in Edge and Chavo legally tags in. Edge cleans house with strikes and a backdrop to Chavo. Eddie trips Edge and drives Edge groin first into the post. Chavo drop kicks Edge in the corner for a 2 count. Eddie beats on Edge with elbow strikes and a vertical suplex for a near fall. Eddie decks Cena on the apron and Edge is briefly double teamed. Eddie kicks Edge and hits a head scissors off the ropes for a near fall. Chavo knee strikes Edge from the apron and Edge fires back with right hands. Chavo knee lifts Edge coming off the ropes. Edge hammers away on Chavo and hits a face buster. Eddie and Cena are tagged in and Cena cleaning house. Cena backdrops Eddie and nails Chavo with a flying forearm and a spinning suplex on Eddie. Edge leaps off the top to clothesline Eddie. Edge spears Chavo in the corner, but misses a spear in the corner on Eddie. Chavo plants Cena with a brainbuster, and Eddie hits the frog splash for the clean win. A solid tag match, and I love the clean finish for the Guerreros, which would be expected to take place on Cena. Eddie and Chavo as a team on Smackdown are a lot of fun. After the match, Chavo wants Eddie to rub Edge's face into his ass. Eddie is met with a low blow, and Edge puts Eddie into Chavo's ass. Chavo has his pants around his knees and trips, trying to get Edge. Eddie shoves Chavo for being embarrassed. Backstage, Eddie Guerrero is yelling at Chavo Guerrero for being embarrassed. Chavo is apologizing. Mark Lloyd interviews The Undertaker and says people are surprised that Undertaker brought his wife Sarah into the arena. Undertaker says that not that it's any of Lloyd's business, but Sarah happens to have friends and family in Minneapolis. They get interrupted by Matt Hardy. He says he wants to congratulate Undertaker on his wife being pregnant. How cool will it be to have little Undertaker running around the house? He says hopefully one day he might have a little Matt Hardy running around. Undertaker says that maybe they should have had this conversation some other time. Undertaker goes to leave, but Hardy grabs his arm and keeps talking. Undertaker doesn't like that. Hardy says he just wanted to see the mother-to-be and congratulate her. Undertaker says that the mother-to-be don't need your congratulations, so why don't you just get the hell out of here? He pushes Hardy into another dressing room door and Hardy falls down. Undertaker goes back into his dressing room and Hardy says it looks like someone definitely needs a attitude adjustment. A little of Matt Hardy's character at this time went a long way with me. Rico is shown on his phone trying to get details of the wedding cake straightened out. He then goes to Stephanie McMahon's office and asks her to reconsider being a part of the commitment ceremony. Stephanie says she has had really bad luck at weddings and doesn't want to be a jinx. Rico talks about how everything has gone wrong and he needs a witness for the ceremony, so Stephanie says she will attend. Kurt Angle comes down to the ring with a microphone to cut a promo. Angle makes a joke about Mysterio being short and the fact that they are in mini. Angle says what he's about to do to Ray isn't going to be funny. Angle warns Chris Benoit that if he ever sees him laugh again, there will be a union between Benoit's face and Angle's fist. Angle tells Mysterio that he's a boy in a man's world, and he's a man who loves to play with boys. Angle realizes what he says and backtracks that. Angle says that he's a man and he's going to love to manhandle Ray, but that doesn't come across well. Angle is getting frustrated that all his taunts are sounding sexual. Rey Mysterio Jr. versus Kurt Angle. Angle slaps Mysterio to look at him. Angle slams Mysterio to start the match and doesn't follow up on the advantage. Angle takes Mysterio down and slaps the back of Mysterio's head. Mysterio drop toe holds Angle and tosses Angle with a fireman's carry. Angle shoves Mysterio down and is met with a slap. Ray runs away and sends Angle through the ropes to the floor. Mysterio head scissors Angle into the corner. Angle misses a spear, hitting the post shoulder first. Mysterio hits a split-legged moonsault for a near fall. Angle tries for the angle slam, but Mysterio arm drags Angle. Mysterio sends Angle into the corner and almost wins with a roll-up. Angle tosses Mysterio with a German suplex, and Mysterio lands on his stomach. Angle drives Mysterio down with a backbreaker. Angle drives Mysterio. Mysterio avoids the suplex and hits Angle with a spinning heel kick. Angle tosses Mysterio overhead with a suplex for a near fall. Angle controls Mysterio on the mat with a body scissors. Mysterio almost wins with a roll-up. Angle tosses Mysterio with a German suplex and holds on to deliver several in a row. Ray counters with a bulldog. Ray boots Angle in the corner and kicks Angle. Mysterio hits a moonsault off the top for a near fall. Mysterio hits a running crossbody to send Angle over the top to the floor. Mysterio takes Angle out with a corkscrew dive on the floor. Mysterio connects with a springboard leg drop for a near fall. Angle switches to the ankle lock, but Mysterio kicks free. Mysterio hits the 619. Ray hits the head scissors for a near fall. Mysterio heads to the top rope, but Angle hits the angle slam off the top rope. Angle goes for the cover and wins the match. A limo arrives and security says they're with the wedding party. Chris Benoit versus Rikishi. Watching Benoit matches always makes me feel uncomfortable. Benoit tries to attack before the bell, but Rikishi decks Benoit with several right hands. Rikishi decks Benoit with a forearm strike. Benoit avoids a belly-to-belly suplex with a headbutt. Rikishi plants Benoit with a sit-out choke slam. Benoit low blows Rikishi while the referee is out of position. Benoit chops Rikishi to the mat and gets a 2 count. Benoit locks in the crossface, but Rikishi doesn't give in. Rikishi lifts Benoit into the air to drop Benoit face first to the mat. Rikishi drags Benoit to the corner, but Benoit has Rikishi on his shoulders to hit an electric chair slam. Benoit heads to the top rope, but Angle shoves Benoit off and the referee throws the match out. Rikishi super kicks Angle to avoid an Angle slam. Rikishi back splashes Benoit in the corner, and Rikishi tries for the stink face. Angle holds Benoit's arm back, allowing Rikishi to perform the stink face. They are setting up for the commitment ceremony. Backstage, Chris Benoit is with Stephanie McMahon, and Benoit demands a match at the pay-per-view. Matt Hardy enters the scene and wants to speak with Stephanie. However, Stephanie tells him to wait, and she makes the match between Benoit and Angle at Unforgiven. Hardy demands a match with The Undertaker. Stephanie reminds Matt that Taker is busy at the pay-per-view. Hardy wants Taker tonight on Smackdown. Stephanie books the match for Hardy tonight against The Undertaker. Hardy guarantees victory tonight. It's time for the commitment ceremony between Billy and Chuck. Rico makes his way out and he's complaining about the presentation. After a commercial, Stephanie McMahon has made her way to the ring for the ceremony. They cut off the singers singing It's Raining Men for licensing reasons. Rico says this is a groundbreaking moment. Billy and Chuck make their way out. The host asks them to proceed with their written vows. Chuck starts off and says all he knew about Billy was that he was a great tag wrestler and his name was Mr. Ass. Chuck says that Billy has captured his heart, which is better than tag gold. Billy tells Chuck that was corny. Billy is happy to ask Chuck to be his tag team partner forever. Rico presents a video that highlights their union. The video is called Our Love Story. The crowd is booing this segment big time. Rico has been waiting for this moment for a long time. The question of anyone objecting is asked and the entire crowd erupts. The Godfather's music hits. Godfather comes out with a bunch of hoes, and Rico is shocked. Godfather says he's back in business and needed to be at the party. Godfather is here to stop the ceremony because the truth must be heard. Godfather asks Billy what happened and knows that Billy still has the pimp in him. Godfather says that Chuck was a legendary skirt chaser. Godfather says that Chuck loved the bigger girls. Godfather asks what the hell is going on here. Rico says that he will not take this interruption. Rico doesn't think the fans want to see the Godfather and his good time girls. Rico threatens security to escort them out. Godfather tells Rico he doesn't know what he's missing out on, and they proceed to leave. Rico assures Billy and Chuck that everything is under control. Rico wants to go right to the end. Billy looks to be nervous as Rico is pressuring Billy. Billy says yes. Chuck doesn't look to be confident, and Rico tells Chuck to not get cold feet. Chuck says yes as well. Chuck cuts off the ceremony and tells Rico that this wasn't supposed to go this far. Billy says this was supposed to be a stunt. Billy reveals that they aren't gay and that there's nothing wrong with gay people. Billy says if he was gay, that he probably would marry Chuck. Rico knew that they'd back out of this. Rico is pissed that they blew this. The host chimes in and tries to calm them down. He says that a commitment is a special thing and their bond is sacred. It doesn't matter how long it lasts. 50 years, 16 months, or 3 minutes. Wait a minute. Did I hear myself say 3 minutes? It's Eric Bischoff in a disguise. Stephanie is stunned. Rico low blows Billy, and Bischoff has Stephanie, Jamal, and Rosie attack Chuck and Billy. Jamal hits a Samoan drop on Chuck, and Rosie splashes Billy in the corner. Jamal plants Stephanie with a Samoan drop. Stephanie is out cold, and Jamal heads to the top rope, but the locker room empties to run the heels through the crowd. Kurt Angle is checking on Stephanie. That was a fantastic segment, and at the time, Bischoff shocked everybody because that did not look like him at all. Tori Wilson versus Nydia. Wilson baseball slides Nydia before the start of the match. Nydia gets a 2 count following a clothesline. Wilson kicks Nydia, followed by a scoop slam for a near fall. Nydia stops Wilson with a jawbreaker. Nydia decks Wilson over the back. Nydia kicks Wilson in the ribs. Nydia slaps Wilson and rams Wilson into the corner face first. Nydia boots a charging Wilson in the corner. Wilson delivers a swinging neckbreaker to win the match. Backstage, Undertaker leaves Sarah in the locker room all by herself, telling her that he will be right back. Matt Hardy gets Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman as they make their way towards the ring. Main event, The Undertaker versus Matt Hardy. Heyman slides a chair into the ring, but the referee gets rid of it. Taker works over Hardy in the corner with strikes early on. Taker power slams Hardy and signals for the last ride, but Heyman gets on the apron to cause a distraction. The referee ejects Heyman. Hardy low blows Taker and hammers away on Taker. Taker stops Hardy with a big boot and is distracted by Lesnar. Hardy decks Taker from behind to the floor. Lesnar nails Taker with a clothesline outside the ring. The referee ejects Lesnar from ringside too. Hardy keeps control, hammering away on Taker on the mat. Hardy clotheslines Taker in the corner. Hardy tries for the twist of fate, but Taker counters with a clothesline. They begin to trade strikes with Taker getting the advantage. Taker clotheslines Hardy in the corner. Taker drops Hardy over the top rope. Paul Heyman has gone to the locker room that Sarah is in. Heyman tells Sarah that he never realized how attractive she was. Taker is running to the locker room. Taker storms into the room and grabs Heyman. Lesnar enters and whacks Taker over the head with a steel chair. Lesnar backs Sarah against the wall and puts his hand on her stomach. Lesnar says life is a bitch and backs away as Sarah is frozen in fear. Sarah checks on Taker as the show ends. Final thoughts. This was a fast-paced show. You couldn't do the ceremony today, but the Bischoff reveal was great. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at TheJoeyHarris. If you like the show, please leave a review on iTunes or Apple Podcasts. I would really appreciate it. Support the show at paypal.me/cupofjoepod. Thank you for joining me this week. This is Joey saying so long from the heart of Virginia.
The Cup of Joe Wrestling Show is a production of Baby Kangaroo Media.